I'm going to start recording to the cloud. I'm going to start feeding this through our customer page. Hang on just a minute. Nice to have everybody in here. All right, we're going to go live. We should be live here in just a second. Yep, we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of What the Health. I am Marisa Maggio Harrelson, and I am now I'm in Prescott, Arizona. Just got here at our cabin for the weekend, but I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have been a part of LifeVantage for 11 years. So I want to welcome you all for being here today, for learning more about what makes us all so excited with activating our health. And we have our special guest, Vice President of Research and Development for LifeVantage, Lisa Barnes. I'll share a little bit more about her in just a moment. But I wanted to just say, if this is your first time learning about LifeVantage, you are in for such a treat. I'm so excited for you to learn about what activating wellness is, activation versus supplementation. And Lisa Barnes will be sharing a little bit more about that. I am all things health. I love health. When I worked in television news, I even had a health beat. I don't do that industry anymore. I teach yoga, breathwork, meditation, and all things LifeVantage. It is in my DNA, activation. And I take every one of our products, but we're going to hone in today on the True Science Activated Liquid Collagen and the Protandem NRF2 Activator. This product, Protandem, is why this company is here today and how we have evolved over the years in a company that is pioneering this beautiful new science of wellness care called nutrigenomics. Doesn't that just sound wonderful? So with that, I want to introduce Lisa. Let's get right to it because I know she has so much to share with us because there was an incredible study that just came out on the two of these, and it's patent pending as far as the product line. So she's going to talk a little bit about the study and what's happening inside your body. So I started taking these products, you all, not to fix anything, but to just start aging better. And I'm 62 years young. I used to not want to tell anybody how old I was, but I really don't mind now because I'm owning who I am. Age is just a number. What I am biologically, I know is a lot younger than that. And I know that these products have been super instrumental in my aging process. I call this intelligent aging. So I'm so happy you're here. Lisa, I just want to share that she is a highly trained, skilled product development specialist scientist with more than 14 years of experience in the personal care, nutrition, and beauty services industries. She has her bachelor's in biology and chemistry and has been developing products since she was a junior in college, you guys. This is in her DNA as well, obviously. I've met her in person. She's lovely. I'm going to let her share a little bit more about herself in just a moment, but she spent 10 years on the bench formulating personal care products such as sunscreens, lotions, mouthwashes, pain relieving creams, which led to multiple patents before she came here to LifeVantage. She came in LifeVantage in August of last year. And just a couple months after we launched the True Science Activating Liquid Collagen. She's focused on building our global roadmap for products so that we are a global company. And she also has been working with our research and development very tightly to develop products that are just essential for our body's system. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Lisa. Thank you so much for being on this Friday. And we are just delighted to hear more about you. So talk a little bit about you first and foremost, personally.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
you're a
glad
mom.
to. Well, yes, I'm a mom, but the first I was going to talk about for a sec was just that formulating and product development in my DNA. It's even more than you know. My mother was a biochemist and she actually did research and development. So I have it even further back in my DNA than just me. But I am a mom. I have 3 little girls, not so little anymore. My oldest 2 are going to be 13. They're twin girls. So they're going to be 13 in January. My youngest one is 11. There's 14 months between them. So I learned how to juggle lots of priorities and everything. I credit them with my ability to multitask very early on. I'm in a great stage with them. I'm a dance mom. My two oldest do ballet. So I spend lots of evenings in the studio, even though I never danced a day in my life, except in my own kitchen. So it's fun to see their growth and just see them maturing as young women. And that's one of the things I'm passionate about is as a mom, and also just as kind of being in this industry is empowering women and really just showing them that they can take charge of their own health and also that they can do anything. And so that's what I try to instill both my career and both as a mom as well. And so we've been in Utah for almost exactly 6 years now. It's become home. My girls have grown up here and we love it here. And I've been at LifeVantage, like you said, Marisa, for almost exactly 1 year. I think 2 days ago, it's on my door. That's why I'm looking over. It was my 1 year anniversary of being at LifeVantage, and it's been a fast journey, but it's been a fun journey. And it's been wonderful to get to know everybody and really dive into this world of activation, which is such a differentiated point of view from other people and other companies in this industry.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love hearing about your activities with your family. Where were you living before?
So Chattanooga, Tennessee, so
Oh,
Southeast. My family is very Southern. You can't tell by my accent, but if you listen to my mother after she's talked to her sister, you will hear all the y'alls. And I used to spell wash with an R when I was little. So
well,
I've
listen,
moved
I
around
get
enough
you.
now through
I
my
grew
life.
up in the I grew up in the neighboring state, Kentucky,
Oh,
in
yep.
Lexington, and
You
our
know.
mother would not let us speak like with a draw. So she was always correcting us because she was from Washington, D.C. So,
Oh,
but I'll tell you what, I can go back to that. And I love playing around with that accent. And I just love the people in the
oh
South.
yeah. You pick it back up so easily. I always, when I start talking to my mother and I hear it, I'm like, oh, she's been talking to the family again.
You can tell. That's right. Well, let's dive deep now. Let's talk about this incredible study that came out. But before we talk about the study, many people may not know what Protandim NRF2 activator is, right?
Yeah.
So even NRF2 activation, they might not even know. So let's just get to the basics first and foremost, why this company exists and a little bit more about that product. By itself, it's amazing. By itself, the collagen's amazing. Together, it's
Even
oh,
more
it's
amazing.
next level. It's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
It just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I think where we need to start first is even backing up a little bit because I mentioned the word activation. And if you are new to LifeVantage, you may not know what that means. So let's start there first. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
I always ask because I have 3 screens in this office and I'm like, well, you don't want to see my calendar. You just see how many meetings I'm in, but glad you see it. Okay, so we'll first start with activation. And then really what is on the screen is our official definition, which is activation ignites your ability to create powerful health. And I really love that statement because it's very proactive versus reactive. Activation is not just providing a supplement for something that is missing or depleted in your body. Honestly, that's what many other companies do and how they approach health. Activation isn't a Band-Aid that's really just addressing symptoms. It's not a bridge to be able to get over something health related. Instead, it's tapping into processes that your body has naturally and really supporting it to be more healthy and perform closer to how it did when it was younger and more youthful and more vibrant. It's really looking to the source of the problem to be able to find a solution. And so then you may ask, okay, why is activation needed in the first place? And this is true of everyone. As the body ages, all of your body's systems and processes, they slow down. And then as a result, you're not going to feel or look the way that you did when you were younger. Everything's not performing the same way it used to. And so as a result, you actually may even feel older than your age on paper, which is not okay. And honestly, though, we tend to accept this as normal aging. Everything starts breaking down. I'm just not going to feel good. I can't do anything about it. That's just the way it is. But honestly, what our team asked at LifeVantage is, what if that's not the case? What if you don't need to accept this slowing down of processes? What if you don't need to accept that you're going to feel worse as you age? What if you could instead thrive as you age? And so that is the approach of activation, is not accepting that everything's going to keep degrading and you're going to keep feeling worse as you get older, but really helping to increase that health span so that as you age, you keep up that vibrancy and ability to do what you want to do. And that involves touching all of these systems that would typically slow down. Now, our first product that kind of launched LifeVantage, as Marisa said, was our Protandim Nerve 2 Synergizer. And so the problem that it was going to the source of, or the root of, was that as you age, your body's natural antioxidants, which are these protective molecules in your cells, deplete. And normally, if you're completely healthy and young, you have good supply of these antioxidants. And because you're always going to face stress, there's always things from the environment you're going to face. And it's something called oxidative stress. You're always going to face that. And your body in perfect balance will have oxidative stress. And then you have your natural antioxidants that quench those oxidative stress, the free radicals that come from it, that help kind of mitigate the damage. And your body stays perfectly in balance. But with the world we live in, stress is going up. And as you get older and as you face stress, your antioxidants, your natural ones in your body, go down. And so you have these two opposing forces that are just this perfect storm for your body just to be impacted negatively and really impact every single system. And so that's where Protandim Nerve 2 Synergizer comes in, because it is activating the pathways needed to support your body's own ability to create its natural antioxidants, these protective molecules. And we've seen through studies that it actually reduces stress by oxidative stress by 40% in just 30 days, which is phenomenal. But even more phenomenal is that it's backed by more than 30 studies. And these are independent studies by outside research organizations. We're not actually running these studies. People just see our product and say, we want to try your product and these studies and research what it will do. And so there's been more than 30. Honestly, we just got one yesterday that one of our SAB sent us, showing some really positive results, and constantly people are asking to test this product. So it is very well validated within the research community and academic community. Another thing that I really love with this product is that we've done prior studies showing synergies with other products in our line: Protandim Nerve 1 Synergizer, Protandim NAD Synergizer, and then our multivitamin combo Rise AM and Reset PM. We won't go into those today because I don't want to overwhelm you with every single product, but a key thing to pull from that is this product works synergistically with others. That's a benefit of activation. When you're going to the source, you are able to see these synergies with other products that go to the source of problems, these activation synergies.
That's incredible. It just gets better and better.
Oh, yes. And that's because that's just one product. And then the next product we had, you got a little sneak peek because my slideshow has a mind of its own and likes to advance slides every so often. So you're going to keep getting these little sneak peeks.
It's because it's activated.
It's just like, you need to see this, because our next product is that liquid collagen. If it'll let me, there we go. It's True Science Liquid Collagen. And this is one where you can literally just look at the picture and say, okay, I see the difference with this one. And this is just one example. We've had hundreds and hundreds of different before and afters of people that have used this activated collagen. And the way that it works that differentiates it amongst all the other collagens that are out there is it's not just supplementing collagen, because collagen is depleting as you're getting older. It kind of hits its peak in your 20s, which is kind of sad, and then it starts depleting after that. And that's going to impact your skin's structure, that kind of if you think of like a mattress, it's like those springs within a mattress that gives it structure. It's the same thing with this lower layer of your skin, the dermis. And you need to have collagen to be able to give it that structure. And that's depleting and depleting. So you're seeing that sagging and wrinkling forming. And so we not only supplement collagen, but we're activating your body's own natural collagen. We are replenishing the collagen because we do want some supplementation, but it's in this kind of three-pronged method And then we also maintain collagen by downregulating enzymes that would break down collagen. So you're getting more collagen, we're adding more collagen, we're protecting the collagen you have. And it's through this threefold mechanism that we are seeing the results that we had. But we've been seeing more and hearing more than just what I was talking about, these surface level benefits. And what we noticed in some of the feedback we were receiving was actually, it was people that were using both these two products. We were seeing some interesting results, and we had already been marketing the two products together. And honestly, from a business point of view, they were two amazing products. Why shouldn't you take them together, our Nerve 2 and our liquid collagen? This is what we've been previously saying. If you literally look at it though, it's benefits of Nerve 2, benefits of collagen, just put on one sheet, because we had not actually dug in yet and looked at the combination, because we had just launched our liquid collagen, tried to pace out our research, and we want to see where the science leads us based on what we hear and what we keep learning. But what we kept hearing was, I'm on this combination and my gut's feeling better, or I'm on this combination and my joints are feeling better, or I'm on this combination and X, Y, and Z. And it's these symptoms or these kind of benefits that are outside of what we had noticed with any of the individual products alone. And these stories and anecdotes kept coming up one after another, so many that we decided that we needed to study this combination and understand what's going on. And that's what we're going to focus on for the rest of our time today, is why you need to take this combination of products, because this study shows fantastic results. And they're actually the patent pending, this combination is patent pending because of these results. And one thing I want to say about that is, I may say patent and you're just like, oh, okay, we've seen many, many things patented, but it's actually incredibly difficult to get a patent. And the reason for that is you can't just show something new, you have to show something unexpected. So it can't be something where you're like, okay, you put Nerve 2 and liquid collagen together and some things enhanced a little bit. That's very obvious. There's ties to oxidative stress, breaking down collagen. And so if you lowered oxidative stress and collagen increased, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's logical. That's not worthy of a patent. That's awesome, but it's not worthy of a patent because it's expected. That's 1 + 1 = 2. What you need for a patent is 1 + 1 = 3. You need something unexpected. And that's what we got from this study that led to this patent pending kind of process. Now, when we were starting to look at doing this study, we had to first think, okay, what is the design? What are we going to test this in? And we decided to do it in a cell type, because that's the first question we have to ask. What cell type are we going to do this? And the cell type is called fibroblasts. You may be like, what are fibroblasts? I didn't sign up to be in a biology course today, but it's very simple. They are a very common cell type, and it's found in your connective tissue. So you can, and really what they're there to do is provide support and structure to the tissues throughout the body. They're found everywhere. They're found in your skin. They're giving like that structure that I was mentioning, that collagen elastin is giving the structure. It also can be found in the capillaries. It's found in the structure and the walls of the heart to help support heartbeats, which I think is amazing. It's found in skeletal muscles, organs like the intestine, spleen, brain, and lung, liver, and kidney. And so, here's kind of a picture showing you everywhere that it can be found. And so, one of the key things they do also is produce collagen, which is why they're so beneficial to skin. But because of this functionality that we had seen, and we saw that it was these cell types were found in all these different connective tissues, we decided that this was the cell type to do this study in it, because it had the functional versatility to allow us to investigate a wide array of possible benefits of the combination of these two products combined. And also, since fibroblasts are found throughout the body, any results that we would see in fibroblasts, you could start drawing these dotted lines to these different systems throughout the body. Okay, so this is happening in fibroblasts. Where are fibroblasts again? Look at this diagram. it's every system in your body. You can start then expanding your picture by saying it's doing this in this cell type, but this is what it means holistically in our body. So with that, we had picked our cell type of fibroblasts, but then we had to decide how are we going to perform this study. And so typically we perform targeted gene expression studies where we already have very specific genes in mind. Because, for example, with protanum Nerf2 synergizer, okay, we want it, whenever we look at it, we look at Nerf2, that gene, or we look at certain antioxidant targets because we know the mechanism of action that it works by, and that works great. For example, when we performed our tri-synergizer, and that's just a name for our protanum Nerf2, protanum Nerf1, and our protanum NAD, they're put together in one kind of stack together. When we performed our studies on those showing synergies, we knew specific gene targets that we wanted to look at. Nerf2, Nerf1, we wanted to look at some of the enzymes with NAD, sirtuins, very targeted genes that we wanted to look at. However, with this study, we wanted to be a little bit more exploratory. We didn't want to limit the results that we were going to find with this combination. We wanted to be surprised. And just because really, we've been hearing all these wide range of benefits, we wanted to open the possibilities up. And so we used a system called RNA sequencing to be able to do that. And there's a lot on this slide, but essentially what you need to know is RNA sequencing allows you to look at every single gene that is expressed in a cell. So in this case, these fibroblast cells that are found in all your connective tissue. And it allows us to see every gene that is upregulated and every gene that is downregulated. And it also allows us, through the software that comes along with the testing, to then organize those genes into pathways to then understand how everything is connected together. So from this, we would understand mechanism of action. What all is this, these two products doing in these cells? Every single potential mechanism of action, which really leads the results being very broad and allows us to really explore. But what it also does mean is that there were tens of thousands of lines of data in an Excel sheet that we then had to analyze to determine what the impact of these two products were. So that's the curse. The kind of the blessing with it is that we got all this data and we really had a wide array that we could look at. And then the downside was we had a lot of data that we got to pour through. But we were very glad that we did this approach, because if we hadn't have gone this widespread, we would not have seen the results that we saw and be able to have this patent pending status on this stack. So, which is incredibly exciting. So, but before we actually go into what those results are that led to this patent pending status, there's something that we need to talk through so you understand why the results matter. Because if I just start throwing some gene names out there, you're going to be like, I have no idea what that means and how does that impact my health? So first we need to talk about something called the cellular stress response. Now your body, it's amazing. It has built-in mechanisms that work to keep you perfectly healthy. Your cells are able to sense their environment, and they can send signals that help you maintain a healthy balance. This is a cellular stress response. So you face a stress, because we're all going to face stress. You react to the stress and maybe signal to other cells. You overcome the stress, and then you return to a state of rest and repair to prepare for the next stress. That's a normal stress cycle. You ramp up, you ramp down. It's a cycle. So when your cells are functioning the ways they need to, that's how they respond. They have this cyclical nature. So, because a little stress isn't a bad thing. It's completely normal. If you've ever endured some kind of discomfort from exercise or maybe intermittent fasting, if you were using that for your health, you may have realized that a little stress can be a good thing. A little stress can help your body become stronger. And honestly, you can think of the same thing in your personal life. I mean, if you live a life without any stress at all, that might sound really, really nice. But if you think about it, if with those little times of stress, that's actually what makes us stronger and helps us grow as people. you would not have the same opportunities to grow if you didn't face these hard times. And so we need those to help us grow stronger. And the same is true for your cells. A little stress can be a good thing. However, there is a lot adding stress to your body and your cells every day. Think of your environment that you're around. There's pollution, there's toxins from the environment, there's the food you eat, there's mental stresses. And it becomes a problem when it becomes too extreme. Too much constant stress over long periods of time can really break you and your cells down. So as you become older and you're facing this increased stress, this cellular stress response can become less balanced and less able to respond appropriately to the stress that it faces, and more damage comes as a result. When there's too much damage, your cells sense there's a problem, and it sends a signal to your body's emergency response team to rush in and help. So this stress response is like a machine that's operating continuously. Normally, it performs well, but it can slow down or stop working properly without any downtime or maintenance. So if your cells are getting overloaded with stress, it can really change your body's and your cells' signaling and it can start reacting to non-existent threats. So essentially, your body just gets stuck, or your cells get stuck in this stress cycle. They're always in this heightened sense of alert, and they're never finishing that threat response and being able to relax, recuperate, and prepare for the next stress response. You get stuck in the heightened stress response, and it becomes a never-ending cycle. You can think of it once again, applying it to you personally. If you face mental or physical stress, if you're facing it constantly and it's never ending, you never have a break from it, your response to stress is going to start being less than optimal. You're going to wear down and break down because you never get a break from it. You're going to get overwhelmed, and your cells are the same way. If your cells keep signaling that there's a state of emergency, a vicious cycle of hyperreactivity can begin as your cellular stress responses are knocked out of balance. And kind of tying this back to the cell type that we chose for the study, your fibroblasts are quite vulnerable to this hyperactive stress response. And remember where they're found: everywhere, all of your systems, all of your connective tissue, and they're all vulnerable to this hyperreactive stress response. They're vulnerable to being knocked out of balance and getting stuck in this cycle of stress. And when they stay stuck in this cycle of stress, they don't work as well. They are really stuck in kind of this fight or flight response. They're always heightened. They're not able to do their normal everyday tasks as well as they normally would if they were going through a natural cycle. And so as a result, to kind of bring this, because it's all right now, it's very cellular level, but to bring this more personal, you could feel it in your joints as you exercise and don't recover as well as you used to. I am in my upper 30s. I run. I remember doing exercise when I was younger, how quickly I could bounce back. I look at my little 12-year-olds and how quickly they bounce back after dancing and they're ready to run around again. And I go run a few miles and just lay on the couch. That even gets worse as you get older, because your cells, your fibroblasts, and your muscles and your joints can be hyperreactive. Or you can see it as your skin looks less vibrant or becomes more irritated. And because these fibroblasts, once again, are found in all throughout your body, you can just imagine the impacts to other systems, your gut, your vascular system, if they stay in this heightened stress response. And it's not ideal to live with any of these symptoms. Something needs to break out the cells out from that cellular stress response. Something needs to stop the stress cycle and tell your cells to calm down, to take a break, to be able to recuperate and repair and get ready for the next stress. It would be similar to you taking time when you're facing stress to maybe go for a walk or do yoga or relax with a cup of tea. Your cells, especially your fibroblasts, need that same break. They need some cellular self-care They need that same time to recover and recuperate. So what can be done? And it all starts with looking at one of the regulators of the stress response. And one of those key regulators is NF-kappa B, which is a master switch of the body's cellular response to stress. It's activated when there's an insult, and then it starts a signaling cascade and it's telling the body and all the cells and all the systems that something is going on. But when it's constantly activated, it leads to your cells being stuck in this cycle of stress. And once again, when you're stuck in the cycle of stress, nothing is working as well as it should be because all the resources are going to fight this non-existent source of stress. And so with that background of understanding the cellular stress cycle and then seeing that this NF-kappa B is one of those master switches that needs to be addressed, we can then look at the results because now you have the tools you need to be able to interpret that. So one thing I do want to note is with this study, we did look at Protandim Nrf2 and True Science Liquid Collagen alone in the fibroblasts because we have to look at them as so we can compare the synergy of the two together. So what we saw with both of them, Nrf2, Protandim Nrf2, did exactly what we expected that it would do. It works through the Nrf2 pathway to create your body's own antioxidants and upregulate those genes. It did the exact same thing in fibroblasts that we've seen in other cell types in our other studies. We've looked at it in liver, kidney, endothelial cells. This was very consistent. So not surprising, but very encouraging. Once again, it's a very consistent narrative of how this product works. Liquid collagen, we looked at fibroblasts, and some of the initial studies on red quinoa, one of the key ingredients in liquid collagen, have been done in fibroblasts. So we had an idea of what it would do, but we saw upregulation of structural proteins like collagen, elastin, things that give your skin that structure and help it stay strong and vibrant. We also saw a little bit of some genes being impacted that had to do with the cellular stress response, but nothing significant. It's only when we put these two products together that the magic happened, that this synergy occurred. And so the first thing that we looked at was some genes, and you can see them on here. Well, kind of here. We have 3 genes here. And don't worry about their specific names. All you need to know is that NF-kappa B, going back, that master switch of the cellular stress response is not just one protein. It's actually a complex of 5 proteins. And so there are genes that regulate those components that build that switch. And so what we see here is that all 3 of these genes that regulate those components of that switch downregulated. So what does that mean? If they're downregulated, that means they're creating less components that would build NF-kappa B. So then we draw the line, there is less NF-kappa B, so less of this master switch available to keep that cellular stress response kind of hyperreactive and ongoing. So there's nothing to perpetuate it because we're not building as much NF-kappa B. The second set of genes that we looked at, now these are a little bit different because these genes actually regulate the components that interfere with that NF-kappa B, that master switch assembly. So we actually see these genes, and you see quite a few of them, upregulated. That's good in this case because when they are upregulated, that means they are keeping that NF-kappa B from being put together. So the first ones we saw that there were less components of NF-kappa B being created. This time we see, okay, even when they're created and they're trying to be put together into this master switch, there's an upregulation of those molecules that keep them from being put together. Both results end up being less of this master switch that perpetuates the cellular stress cycle. So in this case, we do want upregulation of these genes because both are leading to less NF-kappa B, keeping the stress going. The next thing we have,
I don't want to interrupt you,
please,
but
do as much as you want.
This is absolutely incredible. And this is why so many doctors that are involved with LifeVantage and health experts are blown away. They could not believe these results. And this is very exciting. So simply put, just in layman's terms, this is turning down the bad genes that cause the cellular breakdown of collagen, correct?
Yes.
And turns
And then the perpetuation of the stress response that it does impact collagen, but lots of other systems as well.
That's amazing. Keep going.
Yes. Well, and the last set of genes that I'm going to talk about, and there's going to be quite a few on this slide, are going to be signaling molecules. Because remember I said part of your stress response is there's a stress and there's a response and there's signaling that occurs to let other cells know that there's a threat. So when everything's heightened, there's too much of this signaling occurring so that all of the cells throughout your body are in this hyperreactive, heightened state. So what we would want to see is a downregulation of these signaling molecules showing that there's less signaling, which is exactly what we see. And you see that there's quite a few of these different genes being significant, and all of these are significantly downregulated. So it's showing, first of all, that we are building less NF-kappa B through those first two graphs that I showed you, less components, more components that are helping to keep it from being put together correctly, that are interfering. And then we are seeing less signaling as a result. So one thing I want to note, though, is that notice the word that I'm using, reduce. I did not say stop. And we do not want to stop this response. As I mentioned earlier, stress is needed and a response to stress is needed. What is not needed is this overreactive, hyperreactive response to stress, where the cellular stress cycle is constantly activated and there's no downtime for repair and recuperation. So we don't want to completely squelch the response. That's not healthy. It's all about the balance. We are downregulating that response so that is more balanced and healthier, and so that your cells are able to focus on what they need to be doing. They can respond to stress when there's stress, but when the stress is gone, they can go back to their normal healthy function so that all your systems can work correctly. And so what I like to think about this practically is that think of everywhere, going back once again, where were fibroblasts? Everywhere, every connective tissue, every system of your body. And so thinking back to my running example, what if I could go running and then come home and not be laying on the couch moaning and groaning? What if I'm able to just go about my day? Or to even bring it down a little bit more, what if I was able to bend down easier and play with my grandchildren or go for a walk with my dog? And that wasn't possible before. You can just imagine the quality of life that this could increase through this mechanism of action. Another one, there's fibroblasts in your gut that I mentioned earlier. How disruptive is having gut discomfort and all of the hyperreactivity with that? It interrupts your day-to-day interactions, your social interactions. It's just a pain that you end up building your life around. What if that was more in balance? What a difference that would make with quality of life. Because I always have to bring it back to the personal, because graphs of genes are always fun, and looking at the science and mechanism of action, very fun. And I love them, biologist. But it all comes back to how can we help people? That's why I got into this industry. That's why a lot of people I know got into this industry, because we want to make a difference and have a demonstrable impact on people's lives. And these are the kind of results that lead to that. And so kind of a way that we summarize the study to make it a little easier to remember is these 3 R's. So we talk about the combination of Nerve2 and collagen, reduce unnecessary signaling, that keep that stress cycle going, help you recover from stress. You're having that healthy recovery time to prepare for the next stress without constantly being activated, which leads to restoration of optimal function. So reduce, recover, restore, all leading to impacting the cell type that's found throughout your body in all your systems and all your connective tissue. And when we saw these results, I will tell you, first of all, we saw them in a Excel chart. We looked at them and we're like, oh goodness, this is a lot of data. But then when we dug in and realized the top genes that were impacted by this combination, literally we went door to door and we're telling all of our coworkers the excitement that we had for this, because we knew that we had uncovered why people were feeling the way they were feeling with this combination. We were understanding why this combination, this duo, this healthy glow was so powerful. It's because it's reducing this unnecessary signaling, recovering from stress, restoring optimal function. So that's kind of a quick overview of the study without getting into too much nitty gritty, but just so you can get a glimpse of why it's so powerful and why you need to be on this combination.
Oh my gosh, Lisa. So I just want to say this has been absolutely phenomenal, this information. And I want to share a testimony from a friend of mine who I've known since I was 18 years old. And she's actually on this Zoom. And I won't say her name, but she just texted me today. And this is why I do what I do, because it's our passion to help this world be a healthier place. And it needs more health, and people need to feel better. And it should be a birthright. So she says to me, so it's only been 2 days, but Marisa, what the heck is in that stuff? My body is constantly buzzing. I'm not tired. I have so much energy, totally different than caffeine energy. Crazy. She goes, crazy. Will this continue, or does your body build up a tolerance? Great question. So maybe I'll have you answer that, because I don't think your body will build up a tolerance. I think people who haven't felt good, that's why they're feeling this.
Yes, because like you said, there's no artificial stimulant in this that's causing any sort of energy. It seems like what's being experienced is just systems working the way they should. And as long as you're continuing to take this and your body's being able to recover from this stress cycle, the way that we've seen it can with this combination, you're going to keep experiencing that health level and that vibrance. So no, it's not something you would build up a tolerance to, because that's just how your body should be working.
Isn't that beautiful? It's just when people.
And then the sad part of that is how many people aren't experiencing how their body should be running, how it should be, how they should be living. And they've just accepted that that's how it's going to be. And that's what makes this so exciting, is this is something that everyone could use to really, to be able to feel that. And they may not have experienced that for years.
For sure. Well, I think this is a wrap. I just want to say thank you so much, Lisa. I will see you, I know, at Global Convention.
Oh, yes.
If not
Got another
before.
fun thing to talk about there.
Oh, yeah, another new product. And see, our products are activating the systems so that
Yes.
hopefully we don't have to medicate the symptoms. Activation, we need the world to know about it. We need voices to share that message. It's super important. Thank you for joining us, Lisa, on today for What the Health. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll have a beautiful weekend. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.